So what was your biggest takeaway from this book?
The biggest takeaway.
Like how would you apply, or how have you applied what you read here moving forward?
I think so. Okay, Sapiens. I feel like this is a long-winded question just because I've read like both of them and they seem, he's described human history, now he's describing human future. So with Sapiens, for me, like every emotion or thought that I had, I would always trace back to like the myth or what
Yeah.
is the underlying story. Over here, like I feel like I do it the same way. And Sapiens is like Homo Deus has made it kind of narrow now. Like now that I know, or now that I accept that humanism is the religion that I believe in, that I or at least like that I implicitly assume is true.
Yeah.
I stop at the thought and I again challenge that assumption first. I'm like, hey, like, is that really something that I want to do? And the same way I do the narrative and experiencing self, like the difference between your left and right side of the brain, like because I feel like a lot of my life I'll make habits and I try to kind of abide by them, right? So I try to like I'm very rigorous about like my practicing of music, for example, right? And I really try to spend an hour sometimes, and when I don't do it, like I feel bad, but I'm like, maybe I've been doing it for too long. Maybe my experiencing self was really trying to tell me something there, and I should chill out for just a second and like maybe get back to it later. I think that it's, and I guess contrary to what he says, it's made me trust the algorithms less and pay attention to what I want more, because I feel like I'm a biological creature at the end of the day, right? So I know that the algorithms could tell me what I want. I don't want to listen to the damn algorithms.
So do you think listening to the algorithm makes life less enjoyable or entertaining?
No, I mean, like, I think that you could argue that
takes out the randomness.
Sure. That might be a good way to do it, right? Because I think that, look, and there are a lot of people that are like a lot of logical people. I think it's a very rational thing to just listen to the algorithm, right? But I think that like the way I would rationalize listening to the algorithm would be like, okay, you know what? Living in Chicago makes absolutely no sense just because of rent and remote work. I need to just go outside and go live in a smaller place, and with all of that excess funds, invest heavily in like actually pay for dating apps, because then you optimize those algorithms for you. Actually pay for a host of these other services that like that. So with the like, I feel like you could really like boil your life down to an Excel sheet then, and if I commit to the algorithms, like I wouldn't be doing it right unless I did that. And so I don't want to do that though. Like,
okay, so do you think there are going to be companies soon where it seems like people already just give away all their information and data?
Yeah.
So will there be companies that will say, hey, give us the data on your smartwatch, give us your Google, give us your internet browsing history, give us your blah, 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 and we'll put it together to give you a picture of who you are, or like what you should be doing, or optimizing your life.
I think that like that's the end goal of Cortana or Siri or Alexa, right? Like
a life coach.
Yeah, like a life coach, exactly.
Like a data life coach.
Well, I definitely think that that's the end goal of like each of those tools, and I'm pretty sure that that's what Steve Jobs had in his head when he like announced Siri to the world, and then everyone just copied it. So, I think that we know the companies that are going to offer this, right? Yeah, I don't think that that's too far-fetched at all. So, I agree with his like take that that's going to become a lot more commonplace. With like, hey, I just read all your emails. Before you send this, your blood pressure's a little high, and when you're a little angry, you don't write the best emails. So maybe take a walk, and like it's
Jarvis.
Exactly, Jarvis, right? Yeah.
Tony Stark's
Vision, right? Yeah.
virtual assistant.
Paul Bettany in the MCU.
So I remember there was a part where it talks about wealth is not actual resources. Wealth is knowledge. So he talks about like the Middle East. like fighting for physical resources, but like in the future, it's all about wealth and knowledge and information. So like Silicon Valley companies, it's the information that they can sell. That's
So I think this is the knowledge equation that what
Okay.
he'll do is, and this is another, like, I just love this guy because he distills these complicated concepts in a very intuitive way. But I wish I can remember exactly what. Okay, so knowledge in the religious age, where the atheist or the theist age is scriptures multiplied by maybe a little bit of logic. Um, Knowledge in the scientific age. Okay, so what we mean by that is take all the scripts that we have, all the pages of the Bible, all the pages of the Gita, whatever it is, and apply some logical interpretation to it, and this is how you become wise.
Yeah.
In the scientific age, it is observation and experimentation, I think.
Yeah.
Or maths, I believe math and logic, or math and experimentation.
Okay.
In the current age, in the humanist age, it is emotion and sensation. What do you feel, and how do you maximize that, right? You take in all the inputs from your senses, you take in all the emotions that you feel, and then you are more knowledgeable about yourself, right? And like pursuing, like, think about the amount of reflective essays you wrote in your school growing up, right?
Yeah.
What was the point of that? It's to get in touch with your senses and your emotions, right? Because we think that having that info makes you wiser. But in the information age, I don't think he has a knowledge equation, though I think we could come up with one, right? It would be like data lines, or like volume of information multiplied by, well, it could be both those four things in the data processing, right? The amount of the information you have, and how good the algorithm is.
I don't know. We're starting to get late in the podcast, and now all the things we're talking about is like.
Well, it's starting to get late in the day too, right?
Yeah. As
Hey
if
man,
you're
you had
watching
that.
this, it's
You had that
going
coffee,
tonight.
so
Yeah. It's like now we're. All the technology and equations are going through my head, and they're not calculating as. They're not processing as efficiently as they were an hour ago.
Sure. Fair, yeah. I guess, yeah. In summary, I kind of want to go back to your question about like how I have changed, like, a little bit into, or what I guess I take back from this book. You know, I don't think a lot of my behaviors have changed, but I think I've become a little bit more suspicious, for sure. Like, just of a new technology. Like, what is the end goal? How does it tie to the humanist agenda? And what is the dystopian scenario? Like, ask yourself those questions, right? About something. It's not something that we do because we consume so much in today, right? There's just like a saturation of content that we're just overblown with. Oh, he has this great quote, right? What's the word? It's censure, not censure, censorship. Yeah, censorship in the medieval ages was not telling the masses something. Censorship in the information age is overflooding you with stuff so you don't know what to think.
Oh yeah.
What a brilliant quote that is, right? And so I think that, I think being more deliberate about what I choose to consume, just because he really broadens your perspective about technology and the way you live your life. So I think that's probably the biggest take back for me from reading this book.
Yeah, an excellent book.
Excellent book.
Excellent book.
I did want to add one thing. I know that you mentioned that he has 2 books. He's the author of 3 books. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century.
Have you read that one?
I have not read that one.
See, I have.
Okay.
And I think it's a watered down version of this.
Oh. Okay.
I think it's for. No offense. I think it's for people who can't really grasp like more dense concepts.
Yeah, and he tackles a pretty tough subject, right? Like, I mean, if you think about Sapiens,
I'm suspicious, for the record.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious.
For the record, hold up.
I'm suspicious of any books that do like numbers. 21 lessons for the 21st century.
Wait,
15 steps to this, or 9
Why?
things. I think it's
a cop out?
a little bit of a.
I have only 9 things to say. Right?
It's not as it's trying to spoon feed me, but I'm not a baby.
Okay.
I'm a grown man. I can extract the information and knowledge.
I think
without having a.
You're a
do
strong, independent man, and you don't need no author to tell you.
That's right.
Damn straight. All right.
Yeah, I think it's a little watered down.
They're prescriptive, right? They're and I actually I do agree. I think that I don't like. I don't think any of us like being told what to do, right? And some of those feel very prescriptive. So actually, one of my least favorite books in the world is Rich Dad Poor Dad, because I just feel like it's this old dude telling me like, "Hey man, this is how you can be a millionaire." I'm like, dude, shut up! Like, God damn it, I am sick of you. I don't know if you've read this book, but
I've read the book. I know a lot of people that have found a lot of value from it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sure-
it is
I'm sure there
outdated though in its
Yeah.
concepts.
Yeah, I agree. We're not gonna add that to the next book that we do on this podcast.